Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you, everybody. My name is Harrison Kemp. I'm a veteran, chairman for the Libertarian Party of Maine, and I had a hand in getting the legislation in front of you today. I want to thank Senator Eric Brakey for sponsoring this bill, and committee members Representative Andrews, Representative Boyer, and Representative Supika for co-sponsoring. I also want to thank Representatives Fockingham, Rader, and White for co-sponsoring this important piece of legislation and making it such a bipartisan effort. I urge you to vote in favor of LD 769. The latest breakdown of voter registrations from February 23 shows that there are 369,124 unenrolled voters in our state. It's over 26% of the population, not the voting public, but the population. So when that many people don't feel as though the current choices represent them, as elected representatives, it is your duty to make the process easier and more achievable. A more achievable pathway to earn permanent party status means more choices, and more choices make it more likely that we get the government we want rather than having to suffer between the lesser of two evils. So I urge you to strengthen our representative process by voting in favor of LD 769. Thank you. I'm open for questions if you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Kemp, for your testimony, and thank you for your service to our nation. Are there any questions from the committee for Mr. Kemp? Chair recognizes Representative Andrews.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's good to see you, Harrison. Thanks for being here.
You too.
For those in the committee who might not be aware, could you elaborate on what happened a couple of years ago with the party being unenrolled?
Yeah, certainly. So a few years ago in 2018, our party was unconstitutionally taken off of the voter registration lists. We had to go through a long, drawn-out court battle in which a federal judge decided that the state of Maine violated the Libertarian Party of Maine's constitutional rights to decide what party we want to be part of. From that, there were several decisions that were handed down, a couple of things that changed for how the state is allowed to deal with minor parties going forward. For one, no longer is the state allowed to remove members from parties who don't meet the threshold. They're just left to not hit the threshold, keep their below status number, and are taken off of the registration cards. One thing that this did to us is at the time we had over 6,600 registered voters in the state of Maine, took us down to 0. And it wasn't until late last year that we were even put back onto the registration cards. We're a party that has ballot access for our presidential candidate in every single state of the nation. Yet we have to come together every 4 years, spend upwards of $100,000 and countless hours just to make the ballot so that we can even be heard. People do not feel represented because of the current threshold, and that's what we're trying to change.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Mr. Kemp from the committee? Seeing none, thank you for being here.
Thank you for your time.